Hello, welcome back. So to continue with our validation example, so what we want to do initially as our first validation example, it will be the required field validator. So the required field validator is a way for us to indicate to the user that certain fields must have some data inside. So you cannot leave it blank, for example. So I'm going to apply this first to this text box, and then I'm going to do the same thing to this drop down list, meaning that you cannot leave it at please select ... All right, here we go. So how this works is basically when I drop it into the form, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to drop this into the form. Well, usual stuff, you have to name it properly. So I'm going to call this name required field validator. So name required field validator. So that's what I'm going to call it, name required field validator. And if I go down to the error message, there's something called an error message. Now this is the error message that should appear if the that particular text box is empty. So I'm going to say please enter. Please do not leave the name text box empty. All right, so that's what I'm going to show. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. I'll just say name text box cannot be empty. So that's cannot be empty. So that's the message I want to show. And I'm going to make that text bold, and I'm going to make it red. So that's my full color here. So I'm going to make it red. All right, red. So I'm going to make it red. Okay, name text box cannot be empty. So let me just. So that's what's going to appear. And the other thing I need to do is to connect this this required field validator to the text box. All right. So how do I do that? I click on that label again. Sorry, that required field validator object, and then I go up to control to validate. This is control to validate. Yeah, control to validate. And here there's a drop down. I just choose my name text box. All right, so that's my name text box. All right, and that's basically all I need to do. All right, now if this text box is empty, I will get this error message. All right, and if I were to press submit and I still leave it empty, then even the error message at the top, the validation summary, it will also show the same error. All right. Okay, so next I want to do is okay. The other thing is I put it below here means that that line will appear below my text box. All right. So next thing I want to do is also for the is also a required field validator. So I'm dragging this and dropping into here. Maybe instead of doing that, I think I'll just copy from the one above. Copy that and then just paste it here. All right. Of course, I have to give it a different name. So I'm going to call it a what is this? House required field validator. All right. So house required field validator, and the error message should say. The error message should say. Where is it? Error message, right? The error message should say. House must be selected. All right, house must be selected. All right, and so that's what I'm going to show as a text, and also it will appear in the validation summary section at the top here. All right, so house must be selected. Name text box cannot be empty. So now I have these two. Oh yeah, and by the way, I need to change this to point to a different control, to refer to a different control. Now, for a drop-down list, it's a little bit different. Here, control to validate, I'll choose my house drop-down list. Now, basically when we say required, in this case we have to, like I say, we have to make a little bit of difference. And the difference is Here, all right, initial value. So the initial value is what the value should have. Please select. I'm just basically copying the text that I had in the drop down. Yeah, so please select dot dot dot. So I'm putting that as the initial value of the required field validator. All right. So let me see. Is there anything else I need to change? Validate tooltip, set focus, height, error message, display, static control to validate. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so let's try it out. All right, so let's try that out. Okay, so I have these two added, and so I'm just gonna run it. All right. Okay, so I'm just pressing tab. So if you notice, if I tab out, nothing seems to be working. Nothing seems to be happening. But if I were to press submit, I get my errors here, right? So name text box cannot be empty. If you notice, this is the validation summary part, and a house must be selected and also appears at the bottom. All right. So if I type something here, if I get out, then that error message will disappear. But this one will remain until I click submit. And here, if I select a house, for example, again, it will disappear. And if I click submit, there you go. So the validation summary section will just vanish. So again, if I leave that blank, it will show me immediately that something is not right. If I do this, it will show me something is not right. Again, if I submit, I get that summary section. All right, so that's how we do a required field validator.